Welcome to Norway Perspectives, brought to you by Norway Relocation Group. Today, we are going to talk about something that is a fundamental part of setting up a modern life, a task that seems so simple and universal, yet in Norway is layered with hidden costs, outdated information, and contractual traps that can easily catch the unwary. We are talking about your connection to the world, the ecosystem of internet, television, streaming services, and media fees. The quest to get online, to watch the shows you love, and to stay connected is a priority for every newcomer. But the Norwegian landscape for these services is unique. You may have heard confusing stories about a mandatory TV license, a fee that every household was once required to pay. This creates a fog of uncertainty from the very beginning. Let me be clear. That system is a ghost. The TV license was completely abolished in 2020. Yet, the confusion surrounding it is a perfect example of how easily newcomers can operate on outdated information. While you no longer need to worry about that specific bill, the modern system of media consumption has its own, more subtle set of challenges. If you navigate it without a clear understanding of the rules, you can find yourself paying twice for the exact same high-speed internet service, a costly mistake that is incredibly common for those living in apartment buildings. Locked into expensive year-long contracts for streaming platforms or sports packages you thought were flexible monthly subscriptions. Facing aggressive debt collection notices, what Norwegians call Inkasso, over a small forgotten bill that has ballooned with fees. Completely missing out on a vast library of high-quality Norwegian and international content that you are, in fact, already paying for through your taxes. And in the worst-case scenarios, damaging your credit record over a simple subscription error, which can then impact your ability to get a loan, a new mobile phone contract, or even be approved for a rental apartment. So, in this comprehensive episode of Norway Perspectives, we are going to completely demystify the world of Norwegian media and subscriptions. We will provide you with a clear and detailed map to navigate this terrain safely and economically. We will cover the full story of the old TV license, why it was abolished, and how NRK, the national public broadcaster, is actually funded today through your taxes. A deep dive into the unique landscape of streaming services in Norway, from global giants like Netflix to Nordic powerhouses like Viaplay, including their costs, content limitations, and contract terms. The critical and often misunderstood link between your housing cooperative and your media subscriptions, and a step-by-step guide to avoiding the costly double payment trap. The unforgiving rules around cancellations and auto-renewals that can lock you into expensive contracts, and the rapid path from a single missed payment to a serious debt collection case. And finally, we will equip you with an actionable strategy to manage your digital subscriptions responsibly, saving you money, protecting your financial reputation, and helping you integrate more smoothly into Norwegian society. The ghost of the TV license. Understanding how NRK is funded today. Let's begin by fully addressing the ghost in the room, the NRK TV license. For decades, the Norwegian Broadcasting Corporation, NRK, was funded by a mandatory direct fee, the kringkastingsavgift, more commonly known as the TV license. An army of inspectors and a dedicated collections agency, NRK Licensavdelingen, were responsible for ensuring that every single household in Norway that owned a device capable of receiving a television signal paid this fee. It was a separate bill that arrived twice a year, and it was a source of constant public debate. The system was seen as outdated in the age of streaming and smartphones. Why should someone who only watches Netflix have to pay for a TV channel they never use? After years of political discussion, The system was completely dismantled on January 1st, 2020. However, NRK did not disappear. It remains the country's public broadcaster and a vital cultural institution. The funding model was simply changed. Today, NRK is financed directly through the state budget, which is funded by your general income tax. This was achieved through a subtle change in the tax code, a slight reduction in the standard personal tax deduction, the personfradrag. The effect here is that every taxpayer in Norway contributes a small portion of their income to fund public broadcasting. This modern system has several crucial implications for you. You automatically pay for NRK if you are registered as a taxpayer in Norway. It is not an extra charge, but an integrated part of the national tax system. You cannot opt out. This is a non-negotiable part of the social contract. It doesn't matter if you don't own a TV or if you exclusively watch content from other countries. You will never receive a separate invoice. The process is now entirely invisible. There are no registrations, no forms, and no dedicated bills for NRK. The persistence of the TV license myth is a powerful lesson in how slowly information can travel. We regularly hear from concerned newcomers who have been told by well-meaning but misinformed colleagues or landlords that they need to remember to pay the TV license. Let us be unequivocally clear. If anyone asks you to pay a TV license fee today, that information is dangerously out of date. Any invoice you receive for an NRK license is a scam. The funding is handled through your taxes. End of story. Navigating the crowded and costly world of Norwegian streaming. With the license fee gone, Norwegians have become some of the most avid consumers of streaming services in the world. However, the market here has its own distinct character. The global giants like Netflix, HBO Max, and Disney Plus are, of course, major players. But you will quickly notice that their content libraries are different from what you might be used to. Due to regional licensing rights, a popular series available in the United States might be completely absent from the Norwegian version of the service. This often leads households to subscribe to multiple services simultaneously to cover all their viewing needs. The dominant Nordic player is Viaplay. This is a powerhouse in the region, known for its vast catalogue of Hollywood films, its own successful Nordic noir original series, and, most importantly, its exclusive rights to premium international sports. If you want to watch the English Premier League, Formula One, or major winter sports events, Viaplay is often the only legal option. The main domestic commercial competitor is TV2 Play. This service holds the rights to the Norwegian football league, Eliteserien, and is the home of many of the country's most popular news programs, reality shows, and domestic dramas. The cost of these services is noticeably higher than in many other countries. A standard Netflix subscription is more expensive in Norway than in the US, and premium packages, especially for sports, can be shockingly pricey. A comprehensive sports package from Viaplay or TV2 Play can easily cost you over 600 kroner per month. This high cost leads to the most significant trap: long-term binding contracts. Let's imagine a newcomer, let's call him Alex, who is a huge football fan. In August, he enthusiastically signs up for a streaming package to watch his favorite team. He assumes it's a flexible monthly subscription that he can cancel if he wants. In January, he decides to cancel, but when he tries, he is informed that he signed up for a 12-month contract. He is legally obligated to pay for the entire season, a commitment of over 7,000 kroner, whether he watches the games or not. This is an incredibly common and costly mistake. Always read the fine print of the contract, the binding stid, before you sign up for any service, especially those that seem to offer a special introductory price. The double payment trap, your housing cooperative's hidden benefit. This is, without a doubt, the most frequent and financially wasteful error we see newcomers make, particularly those living in apartment buildings. The vast majority of housing cooperatives or borettslag, and condominium associations, or SAMIR, have a collective agreement, a collective obtail for internet, and a basic television package. Because the cooperative is buying the service for hundreds of apartments at once, they can negotiate a massive discount from a major provider like Telenor, Telia, or Altibox. The cost of this deal is then baked into your mandatory monthly shared fee, the felleskostnader. This means that every month, as part of your housing payment, you are already paying for a high-speed internet line and a set of TV channels. The problem is a breakdown in communication. A newcomer moves in, sees a cable outlet in the wall, and assumes they need to arrange for their own internet. They go online, compare prices, and sign up for a brand new 2-year private contract. From that moment on, they are paying twice for the exact same service. Once through their shared housing fees, and a second time through the private contract they just signed. This is like paying for 2 loaves of bread every week, but only bringing 1 home. Before you even think about ordering internet, you must follow this simple 3-step process. Investigate. Read the house rules, the hushållningsregler, and the statutes, the vedtekter, for your housing cooperative. These documents will almost always specify if a collective agreement is in place. Contact the board. Find the contact information for the board of directors, the styret, which is usually available on the cooperative's website or on a notice board in the building. Send them a simple email and ask, is there a collective agreement for internet and TV? And if so, who is the provider and how do I activate my service? Activate. Typically, all you need to do is get a router from the designated provider, plug it in, and follow a simple online activation process. By taking these steps, you might discover that a 500 megabit per second fiber optic connection is already included in your rent. Falling into the double payment trap can be a difficult mistake to undo, as your new private contract will likely have its own 12 or 24-month binding period. The unforgiving spiral from cancellation to Inkasso. The Norwegian system for contracts and billing is built on a foundation of digital automation and strict adherence to rules. If you wish to cancel a service, you must do so according to the company's specific terms, which usually means canceling before your renewal date. If your subscription renews on the 20th of the month and you cancel on the 20th, it is too late. You will be billed for the next period. If you simply forget to pay an invoice, or if you decide to stop paying for a service you are unhappy with, a swift and automated process begins. First, you will receive a reminder, a purring, which will have a small late fee, a purrigebyr, attached. This is your first warning. If you ignore this, you will receive a debt collection warning, an inkassovarsel. This is a formal, legally significant notice. It is your final chance to pay the original bill plus the late fee before the case is handed over to a professional debt collection agency, an inkassobyrå. Once your case is sent to debt collection, the costs escalate dramatically. The agency adds their own substantial fees, or salaire, to the debt. At this point, a forgotten 99 krona streaming bill can easily transform into a 1,500 krona debt. The collection agency will be persistent. If the debt remains unpaid, the agency can take the case to the state enforcement officer, the namsmannen, to get a legal judgment against you. This will result in a negative credit remark, a betalingsanmärkning, being placed on your financial record. This is a severe consequence. This black mark stays on your record for 4 years and will make it incredibly difficult to participate in normal economic life. You will be denied loans, credit cards, and even simple mobile phone subscriptions. It is a terrible price to pay for a minor oversight. What you're paying for, the untapped value of NRK. Since you are funding NRK through your taxes, it is worth understanding the incredible value you receive in return. NRK's streaming service, NRK TV, is a world-class, completely ad-free platform with a deep archive of fantastic content. It is home to internationally acclaimed Norwegian series like Scam and Exit, high-quality documentaries, films, and an enormous library of safe, educational children's programming on NRK Super. For anyone learning Norwegian, or for any family wanting to help their children integrate, this service is an invaluable and underutilized resource. You are already paying for it. Make sure you use it. By following events like the May 17th Constitution Day broadcast or the beloved Christmas calendar shows, the Julekalender, you gain a window into the cultural soul of the nation. In conclusion, while life in Norway is no longer governed by the old TV license, the new digital media landscape requires your active attention. It is a world of convenience and choice, but it is also a world of contractual obligations and automated consequences. By being a proactive and informed consumer, by understanding what you are already paying for, by reading the terms of any new subscription, by tracking your renewal dates, and by paying your bills on time, you can avoid the common traps that cost newcomers so much money and stress. This will not only protect your finances and your credit record, but it will also free you up to enjoy the rich and diverse media offerings that connect you to your new home. At Norway Relocation Group, we help our clients navigate these practical, everyday systems with confidence. We review housing contracts to ensure you understand all the included costs and benefits, like collective media agreements, so you can avoid making costly mistakes from the very start. And at our partner school, NLS Norwegian Language School, we teach you the real-world practical Norwegian you need to understand the terms of a subscription contract, to read an invoice, and to manage your digital life with confidence. For expert support with your relocation and a smooth entry into Norway's digital and financial systems, please visit us at norwayrelocation.no to build the language skills you need for a confident and independent life in Norway. You can find our courses at nlsnorwegian.no. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Norway Perspectives. Subscribe for more in-depth guides designed to prepare you for the real systems and challenges you will face as you build your life in this beautiful and complex country.